here now with all the latest on the developments of today. She's the host of Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace is back with us. Okay, we have a lot to unpack from what Harvey just said and a lot to unpack from that presser from earlier today. Let's start with Harvey and what we were able to glean from the information he just gave us.
Okay, number one, everything that Harvey Levin just said, I believe. I don't think Harvey ever would or is fabricating anything. So let's take everything he said at face value.
Never. He would never do it.
We had already deduced that this is from the local area because it targeted local outlets, 2 local outlets and TMZ. And that told me a lot about the sender, where they sent it to. We see another family plea in the last hours from brother Cameron Guthrie, basically reiterating what Savannah said, but much, much more succinctly, stating again, we need to make sure you're real. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, based on what Harvey has just told us, I don't think that the perp, if this is the perp, is going to have any further communications. Why? Because the more the perp communicates, the more likely it is he's going to get caught, right? The more communications you have, the easier it is to trace. We all know that. On the other hand, what's his alternative? If they're not going, the Guthries are not going to send the money, the Bitcoin, then what's his alternative? The whole thing is a bust. He may be cornered to the point where he does communicate. Now, here's another angle. Here's your deadline. It's 5 p.m. Bam! But, oh, hey, wait a minute. If you don't give me the money by 5 p.m., what about Monday? Would that work for you? See, I find that to be quite the dichotomy. Don't you?
I do and I don't. I mean, I'm paying very close attention, and Harvey using the term, and I've known Harvey for decades like you have. He actually is brilliant. He's great at what he does. He cares about people, and he did the right thing all the way across the board here. But he's saying that this note is saying that if you don't pay the money by the first deadline, he is saying the second deadline is more consequential. That sounds like a worst-case scenario to me, Nancy. You don't have to, graduate from MIT or Harvard Business to figure that out.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. It sounds like he's saying, and it is a he, it sounds like he's saying, if you don't meet the deadline on Monday, I'll kill her. That's what it sounds like. Because what's the alternative to that? Let's take this through, follow it through to its logical conclusion. What, he's going to kidnap her? He's already done that. He's taken away from her home. He's taken her away from her medications. This, though, this is the thing. What does he know that proves he's real? The location of the Apple Watch? I mean, I would venture to guess it's by her bed charging or at some charging station. But that, in conjunction with what he knew about the floodlight and other indicia of reliability, makes me think that this is real. So can we get past the is it real question and move on to how do we save Nancy? They may be out the money. If it were me, and I think if it were you, you'd try to pay the money and to hay with what the feds tell you to do. Another thing I noticed, Sean, is that apparently the authorities took out what we call a U-Fed out of Annie's home. It looks like a case on a briefcase. It's a box. And what it is Celebrite. I don't know. I saw it in public for the first time anyway, in the Alex Murdaugh case that was used to get all of his communications, all of his digital communications. It can get encrypted, it can get deleted, it can get cell phone, it can get instant messages, everything. So I know that they are and have probably finished combing through everything that the family had, and that's out of Annie's home. That's normal. But I wonder what it is they're looking for. This is turning into a digital case, Sean. That's what this is.
Well, let's then go to the press conference from earlier today, because there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, the timeline, they had dinner the night before, 1:57 a.m. Then, of course, the pacemaker is disconnected. The security cameras disconnected. All of that's disconnected. Apparently, I guess it wasn't operational. They didn't have a subscription, I read. And it's not till late the next morning, and we have it up there, when she didn't show up at church, that, you know, they began to worry about it. So, you know, all the way across the board, what do you glean from that? Because I agree with you. I don't think this guy's going to contact them any other way. This seems premeditated, well thought out, and it sounds like a disciplined attempt, kidnapping, ransom attempt, assuming that's all real.
There's one more thing. She had a spike in her pacemaker at 2 a.m. So you've got them coming home. You have the garage door closing around 9:50, where she is brought home. You have the disconnect, and this is what I'm piecing together happened, Sean. I think the perp came in through the back, comes through the house. I don't know if that woke her up or not. Reaches around because she had that doorbell. It's a Nest, is what it is. Reaches out without getting caught on video and yanking it off, disabling it. That front door cam that we've shown over and over and over. At some point, she's woken up. You see a spike in her heart monitor. The pacemaker spikes, and within 28 minutes, it's no longer syncing. She's out. That doesn't mean it quit working. It doesn't mean she's dead. It doesn't mean it's her heart quit beating. It means that it's 20 feet beyond Bluetooth recognition. That's why. A lot of people think, well, okay, she had a heart attack. That did not happen. So in that 28 minutes, she realizes what's happened, and she's out the door.
Let's go back to the bed being removed from the sister's house. Why did you feel that's relevant?
You mean the UFED? The UFED is a Celebrite device that tracks all and downloads all digital data. UFED, it's an acronym for a very long process of getting information from all digital components, everything.
So let me, can I press you on this a little bit and ask, because I think 99% of people don't know what this is. And just to be clear, if you're in your house and if you're on any type of Wi-Fi system, and even if you're using an encrypted app like Signal or WhatsApp, whatever it happens to be, that all that information would be stored on it. Even, let's say if you don't have an iCloud, would it still be stored on it?
You can get everything that has been communicated on a digital device. Specifically, it's a Celebrite Universal Forensic Extraction Device. It can access everything, everything that has passed on your phone, whether you think you're on a VPN virtual browser, private network. It can pick up all communications, all right?
But it looks like, and it has been
reported in one outlet that they came out with one of those.
Okay, they did that, but then they said very clearly today they have not identified a suspect. They have not identified any person of interest at all in this case.
That's right.
That seemed to be a clear message also.
It did. And a lot of finger pointing going on. And of course, you do look at the family first. And the family knows this. Just like the husband is always the first suspect when a wife goes missing. The family is looked at first. Yes, they're going to look at the sister, her husband, the brother, everybody, even Savannah. They're going to look at them first. And that's what they did, and that was part of that investigation. Now, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. They're saying, we don't have a suspect. We don't have a POI, person of interest. But, of course, Sean, they always say that. Why? Because once you target someone, all the constitutional protections shroud that person. They never come out and say, oh, yeah, we're looking at Tommy down the street. We think he might have done it. That's not going to happen. So they say, we don't have a suspect. We don't have a POI. On the other hand, they say, everybody's a suspect, and we haven't ruled anybody out. But I find it really hard to believe, very hard to believe, that Annie would sit there And Cameron would sit there knowing or suspecting it's a family member or a relative or even a distant relative, sit there on that video like that begging. I don't believe it. I do not believe it, and I reject it.
I'm with you. I think so far, your commentary has been dead on. Nancy Grace, we really appreciate all the time you've given us. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.